Hey everybody, it is, let me check here, Friday the 26th of February. And being a short month, we are almost done with it. It's amazing. Had my second Moderna shot yesterday afternoon, and thus far I don't feel anything. I mean, I feel fine. I haven't had any fever or any aches or anything. I'm slightly, slightly sensitive, kind of like somebody gave me a noogie, bam, on my shoulder. We were really fortunate here in Pasadena where I live because we have our own health department. And I hear all these horror stories of people lining up for hours to get their shots. And literally it took about 5 minutes here. They had it really efficient, and it's not tons and tons of people. So I pulled in, and there was like a couple of cars ahead of me into a parking structure at Pasadena City College. And they just checked my card and my ID and directed me up. And a girl walked up and gave me the shot. And they signed the card and then said, sit there for, 10, 15 minutes. Make sure there's no anaphylactic shock or any kind of, reaction to the shot. And there was nothing. I just sat there and took care of some emails and back home and went back to work in the yard. So it's so far so good. A bunch of things to do today. We got our band Zoom at 11 o'clock, which I always love just because it's our our whole social life as a band. It pretty much is these once a week Zoom calls with management and sorting out plans for the future. We got a EP, another EP coming out, another video coming out. We're still holding on to the album. That'll probably be closer in summertime with that. Let's see. And then after that, I'm going over to see Cliff Jones at LA Vintage Gear to do something over there with him. That was where we were going to have a major book signing, and then all hell broke loose in town, and we canceled the whole thing, just knowing that that was not the smart thing to do, and not hustling books and putting anybody in danger. So we will do that at some point down the line, but there's something else going on. He asked me if I'd come by and help out for a little bit. And then I've got an interview at 5 o'clock that I'm doing. And that's about it for my daily diary. It's but just fed the dogs, doing all this stuff. There is, like for all of us, there's that element of Groundhog Day where it's just kind of the same routine every day until you can get back to, what we are never. It's never going to be normal again. I mean, that's the thing. It's everybody just wanted to get back to normal. I don't know if we'll ever see the old normal again. I think we're going to be creating new normals because it's just it's been such a profound time on first off on humanity, period. Because every country is dealing with this. It's not a localized thing to Los Angeles or the United States or any of that. This is, I talk to people all over the world. Everybody's dealing with it. So everybody's going to be kind of crafting their own normal, and hopefully some of it will come out very positive. And this period certainly has given people a time to reflect on their lives and kind of find things that are important and other things that maybe they were really bogged down in, thinking were important, and suddenly realize that they really aren't that important, not having them. So we'll see what happens. But off to music here. It's been so much fun visiting Linda Ronstadt these past few days, and doing this whole group of great female artists, from Carol Sager to Sheena Easton and Olivia Newton-John and all, and there's many more to come. Melissa Manchester. I mean, there's a bunch I'm going to be visiting, but I thought I'd go kind of a completely other direction today, and I'm going to visit some stuff I did with Arlo Guthrie. Now, I was always, in the day, I was a great admirer of the kind of the voice of protest and reason and all of that in the Pete Seegers and the Woody Guthries and the people who really were the conscience of the society, as much as they got dumped on by the people who didn't want to hear those words. They were pretty amazing. And then when Arlo came along and did Alice's Restaurant and a whole bunch of stuff early on, it was pretty cool just to see the torch being passed to the next generation. But let me see if I can. Oh yeah, this album, we did this in 1973. There's a whole bunch of different players on this project, but it's called The Last of the Brooklyn Cowboys, and it's Arlo Guthrie's album. And it was produced by Lenny Waronker and John P. I think it's Pilla, P-I-L-L-A. Lenny did lots of stuff with Lenny. Lenny Waronker and Russ Titleman were a team, and we did a bunch of James Taylor stuff with them, and I've worked with them over the years, and both amazing guys. I just loved working with them. And we worked together a lot at Amigo Studios, and one of the engineers on this was Lee Hirschberg, who all the stuff I did at Amigo was with him. And then Bob Hatta and Don Landy and Terry Geisler were also engineering on this project. But I'm going to play just a couple of songs from this. It's really, it's just, Arlo's another one of those people. You hear, a couple of notes out of his mouth and you kind of go, oh, that's Arlo Guthrie. And I can't read this stuff. I'd go and get my eyes checked, but I don't trust anything. It's so weird. I keep going, oh, geez, my eyes are getting worse. Things are a little bit tough to see. And then I go in and I get an eye test, and the optometrist, the ophthalmologist that I've been going to for years, he goes, all right, actually your eyes are improving and you need a different thing. It's not like they're getting worse, they're getting better. So I'm really of the assumption that if I live to be maybe 122 years old, I may not need glasses. I've been wearing glasses since I was a little kid. But it's just funny. Up close, I can't see anything up close with my glasses on. So I take them off, I can read everything. It's just distance. But I remember having, ended up getting bifocals, and I had them set the bifocal length. He was going, well, here for reading, I said, no, I don't need that. I said, put it about the first test about 3 feet away from me, and because that's where a music stand would sit. And then we'll set the distance for where the conductor is across the room, because I really needed to be able to, we were doing lots of movies and TV, and I really needed to be able to read the music comfortably, but also see the conductor across the room. And I'm cool up close. So that's my that's my diagnosis for today. So I'm back to Arlo Guthrie now. I'm going to do a couple of songs here. The first song is called Cowboy Song. And this is a real stripped down group here. This is Arlo playing banjo and singing. Myself, Grady Martin playing lead guitar. The great and long gone Clarence White on rhythm guitar, and John Pilla on rhythm guitar. And this was written by Arlo. So I'm going to play this for you, and then I'll show you the other song. This is definitive. Hear that voice and you go, oh, Arlo. Here we go. I'm going to be playing again, I promise you. I just have too much going on today.
This morning, I woke up alone. Spent the daytime on my own. Lots of people have come and gone to hear a cowboy singing old time song. Oh, babe, I love you so. you're the one I was thinking of. I guess it must be that I'm just in love. Oh, baby, love you so. This here is the only thing I know. It ain't right, it ain't wrong to hear a cowboy singing old time songs. I hope they play this song of mine on the jukebox for a dime. And if you leave 'cause something's wrong, you'll hear your cowboy singing old time songs. Oh, baby, love you so. This here is the only thing I know. It ain't right and it ain't wrong to hear a cowboy singing old time songs. To hear a cowboy sing an old time song.
You know, listening to it, when I was digging around, it was hard to find credits once again. I know on the next song, Jim Keltner's playing drums. So my gut's telling me that might have been Jim on drums on that one. And I seem to be hearing some keyboard in the background, organ or something going on. So I'm not sure who all the people that, needed to be credited. I just put down what I found when I was looking. Yeah, I still go back to Woody Guthrie. And when we were doing Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 album, one of the songs we did on that was a Woody Guthrie song called Deportee. And she does the most beautiful rendition of this. And apparently it was initiated by a plane crash that took place. It was a plane full of farm laborers that I guess were heading back to Mexico that went down. And I think Woody was profoundly disturbed by the fact that the way the press talked about it, they kind of trivialized it, just saying, well, they were just deportees. And it's a deep song. He wrote the lyrics. I don't have down who wrote the music to that, because originally it was just like a real simple guitar storytelling, but it got a little more involved as the writing, as the scoring came along with it. But man, check it out. Deportee is a deep tune. And boy, Dolly killed it. Dolly does everything. Unbelievable. She's one of those artists where you just kind of sit back and just take it in. She's a force of nature. I absolutely love her to death. She's amazing. Okay, so this next song is called Miss the Mississippi and You. And this is me, myself and I, Arlo, and Buddy Collette on clarinet, Jim Keltner and John Pila on rhythm guitar, Ry Cooter on slide guitar, and a whole bunch of background singers: Bill Cole, Robert Tebow, Clyde King. Who do we have? Gene Merlino, I think was his name. Jesse Smith, great Vanetta Fields, and Turley Ravenscroft. As soon as I saw Turley Ravenscroft, I went, God, what a great name. It's like Basil Rathbone. It's like one of those those incredible names. Let me think 1 second. This is a name I was just going to try to remember here. Every once in a while, my mind does fail me. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, I can't believe I've forgotten his name. For another story, I'll be back with it. And this was written by apparently Bill Haley. I was thinking, oh, Bill Haley, and maybe in the comments, but this is Halley, Halley. And I'm pretty sure on this I'm playing, on this album, I was playing my Peace Love bass, because it's 73. We did this, and in 73 is when we built Frankenstein, but I don't think it would have been ready at this point. So I was using the old Peace Love bass, which is, again, what I used on the early James Taylor and Doctor My Eyes and Stratus and all those, 70 through 73 records were all on Peace Love. So here's Mississippi, and I'll try to think of that name while I'm sitting here. See, there's no piano credit on this, and obviously there's a piano.
I'm growing tired of the big city lights, tired of the glamour, tired of the sights.
Oh, great. Here we go.
That skip ad button. I can
Skip
guarantee
ad.
it
No
will be one of the
shit,
biggest
Sherlock.
financial mistakes of your life.
Okay, I'm going back to the top.
You know,
Actually, this opening line sounds like something out of I'm Tired. It sounds like Madeline Kahn in Blazing Saddles. Oh, here we go. Let's try again.
I'm growing tired of the big city lights, tired of the glamour, tired of the sights. In all my dreams I am roaming once more, back to my home on the old river shore. I am sad and weary, far away from home, miss the Mississippi.
The bass voice is so beautiful.
Days are dark and weary, everywhere I roam, miss the Mississippi and you. Roaming the wide world over, always alone and blue, so blue. Nothing seems to cheer me under heaven's dome. Miss the Mississippi and you.
Nothing like a waltz.
The old land, low, the old memories of green, happy days of yore. Miss the Mississippi and you, dear. Mockingbirds are singing round the cabin door. Miss the Mississippi and you. Roaming the wide world over, always alone and blue. Longing for my homeland, muddy water shore. Miss the Mississippi and you. The old lady, oh, the old lady.
Yeah, just a little nugget. Just a little nugget. They say more cowbell. Hey, more yodeling. We need more yodeling. But yeah, just, really just sweet, nice little songs. Everything doesn't have to be giant productions. Just, it's really great. I think for me, this really is one of the things that's been such a kind of an eye opener for myself on this network, on this channel, has been variety. You kind of forget when you're living in the moment all the time and moving on. All I ever really think about is today and tomorrow. I'm not a person that dwells on the past, and every once in a while I've got to come up with stuff for interviews and stuff, and a lot of times they'll say, "So what did you play on?" And you kind of go, "Duh," and you kind of shut down. You can't remember anything. So it's been real interesting, kind of remembering this. And while this was going on, I was remembering working with Kinky Friedman. I'm going to try to dig up some Kinky Friedman for you too. And I remembered the name I was trying to remember there because I was looking at Turley Ravenscroft, and I was thinking, man, that is a deep name. If you saw that on a business card, you would take that person seriously. And there was somebody I dealt with many years ago with the hot rod named Gray Baskerville. And you think Gray Baskerville, you expect this elegant, just some guy like in this beautiful tailored suit and just perfect coif, everything. He was the technical editor for, I think, Road and Track and Hot Rod magazine, and he photographed my car on a photo shoot for Hot Rod magazine. And it was a lot of fun because Gale Banks built the engine in the car back then, and so he was riding with me, and we were filming around the Rose Bowl near me, and a cop pulls us over, comes over all kind of cocky, and looks at the car and goes, you got about $1,000 worth of smog violations on this car. And Gale leans out and goes, "There's no smog violations on this car." And the cop looks at Gale and he goes, "What are you, an engine expert?" And Gale looks at him and goes, "Yes, I am." And the guy got in his motorcycle and just went, just left, didn't say another word. But Gale laid it out pretty good. And it's true because I was fortunate, even though the car is, fiberglass body on a tube frame and all that stuff, the registration on the car reads 1923 Ford. And there were no rules about smog and, all that stuff in 1923. So the car is really exempt from any kind of stuff. But this guy, and the thing that was funny is he walked up and kind of looked at the front license plate on it and was going, yeah, like writing this down. Not realizing that it wasn't a license plate. It's my oil cooler that we painted to look like a license plate. But it's just this thin thing, and I put a license plate frame on it. It's just like, you just kind of go. But getting back to Gray Baskerville, so I expected, this really like Charles Middleton or, one of these amazing people. And the guy who showed up, for any of you who ever watched McHale's Navy, this guy was like Captain Binghamton, and then he shows up and he's in Bermuda shorts and he's got like socks and wingtips on or something, and he's got the energy of like Porky Pig. I mean, talking fast and real intense, and I just sat there going, "This is the most unbelievable thing to have a guy show up who's Gray Baskerville." And he's just this character that was right out of Central Casting. Genius guy. I mean, he was amazing. I loved hanging out with him. He was a piece of work. But it's always funny, a name can take you down a road and then you meet the person and you kind of go, wow, this ain't what I expected. But it was fun. We had a great time together. I met a lot of really amazing people in working on that car. And there's a guy who works at Gale Banks. I think he's retired now, but he's probably still working with Gale, named Bob Robe. And Bob was probably one of the most incredible designers I've ever known. And we worked on the car together and did all the stainless line on it. And he could just sit there, laid out like all the nitrous lines were all like perfectly done. I mean, it's just, you meet these people and they live in another world. You get so used to the musicians and all of a sudden you get around gearheads and motorheads and it's a whole other thing. But pretty cool. So, so I'm going to get going here. I've got to run to the post office. I have a couple of books and a T-shirt to shoot off. And then I'm going to be back for our band Zoom and then head off to Cliff Jones at LA Vintage Gear and take care of that and then get home for the interview that I'm supposed to do at 5 o'clock. And then I'll figure out what's up tomorrow and get on that. And since it's the weekend, maybe I'll use the weekend to do some playing with you guys. I'm waiting to hear back from Julian Lennon to see if he liked the 2 tracks I sent him back, and another friend just sent me another track to see if I could do that. And then there's another thing going on that I just got contacted about. So I'm kind of just every day just grabbing a few things here and there, and see where the road leads. It's like the yellow brick road here, and it's just like I'm going. Oz, what's Oz? I would spell it A-H-S, not O-Z. That's the way my mind goes. So, okie dokie, I'm rambling here. It's a Friday and the week is kind of crashing down here. So I'm going to take care of things and I hope you all have a great time. This coming Tuesday, again, live stream, 3 o'clock. And I was just noticing the one that's going to be 2 weeks after that is probably going to be on the Wednesday, not the Tuesday, because Peter Asher called me last night to do a show with him on that day, and it's a Tuesday, so I'll be completely gone and working with him. So I'm going to have to bump that to the following day. But next week it's Tuesday, and I'll shoot out a reminder. So take good care. Thank you so much for all the people working and trying to keep this afloat. I was thanking everybody yesterday when I got my shot. All these people are in there working, and it's a real community, and it's a real people pulling together to do the right thing. It's pretty great. So thank you all for what you do, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so see you then. Bye.